Well, hello. Today I'm going to be using Roetz's printables in a Bible journaling process. I'm prepping my pages with Dina Wakeley clear gesso. I prep my pages every time I Bible journal, just for in case I'm going to be using something that might bleed through. I do it by using a paintbrush and putting a little bit of gesso on a card. It can be an old credit card or a gift card, anything that's slightly flexible. And I make sure that it's covered pretty well. Clean my plastic transparency at the back then, just to make sure that my page doesn't get stuck as the gesso dries. I am fussy cutting the printables. I realize that I'm slightly off screen there in cutting this. It does take quite a while to cut this. It would obviously be better to have them printed on clear sticker paper. But since that is not very easily available in South Africa and not very cost effective here, I printed it on normal copy paper and fussy cut the elements I needed. I wanted to try Perfect Pearls. I haven't worked with it in my Bible before. I must say the kind of look that I went for is not the result I got, and it might just be because of the colors that I have, or maybe because I didn't read the instructions properly. We're yet to see, and I will obviously try again at a later stage. So what I did is I sprinkled some of the powder and then spritzed it with water, which didn't move as I expected it to. So I tried smushing it with clear plastic, but that didn't give me the effect I wanted. So what I wanted was like a desert type feel. So this is a gold powder, and then I wanted some blue for the sky and some little splotches of like slight dry green at the bottom. But like I said, didn't turn out the way I wanted. So I'm just sprinkling it over. It's very pigmented, so really a little makes a lot of color. I'm just not sure. I know that on black, this specific medium, the Perfect Pearls, work much better. So like I said, would need to play with it some more to see if I can get the effect that I wanted. There I just got mud or a muddy color in my sky, which definitely wasn't what I was looking for. But this is it. I mean, in the mess and in the play and in the experimenting with all of the different things, to realize that even the mess God makes beautiful. The mica powders do not bleed through, as you saw on the flip side of the page. So it does give like a dirty, deserty look to the page, which is not exactly what I wanted, but still. And so here I'm just edging the dark or the stark white edges of this word with some chalk ink, just because the stark white of copy paper against my cream pages of my Journal the Word Bible, it's quite a contrast and it's not easy on the eye. So just edging that out. I DC fix or clear plastic book cover my tabs just to make sure that they have a bit more wear. I use 3 Bibles at the moment, and I take them to journaling classes and everywhere pretty much with me, so the tabs take a knock. So I cover them with DC fix just to make sure that they are a bit more durable. I'm underlining the verse that's suggested for this piece, which is in a dark and dreary land I thirst for you. And I'm reading, and the more I'm reading and playing and placing the elements of this printable, I'm realizing that this entire psalm is just so meaningful. It's Psalm 63, if I remember correctly, and it's just really exactly that. In the mess, in the darkness, in the dull and dreary, just one drop of his blood is enough. Just one drop of presence with him, his presence, his you seeking him and being with him is more than enough to sustain you and to make the dreary and the dull beautiful. And it's in our mess that when we need him, he's there for us, and he can make us like these succulents that thrive even in a dark and dreary land when they are fed by just a drop. And so I'm putting my my tab on the DC Fix, which is a clear book plastic, and then cutting it out so that it's covered on both sides. I used some thin highlighter washi from Illustrated Faith to just put down as a base for where I'm putting the tab, just so it doesn't look like the tab's just kind of floating there in the air. Using some tombow glue, it sticks quite well. Okay, and I'm journaling on the page, just a short prayer of thanks, really that God is with us even when it feels like we can't see, and we can only see the mess and the muddy colors in our lives. He's still with us. The important part of journaling, and specifically Bible journaling, is not the art. It is not about how pretty you can draw, how great your printables are, how fantastic your wording is, or your prayer. It really is about spending time in the Word, getting to know God. And so, like I said, as I was reading the psalm, more and more it just spoke to me about God's faithfulness. And so I underlined some more of the verses there. I wanted to try and fix the muddy mess of the background, which you can't really see on the camera, I see. It has like a goldish shimmer to it, but it's very muddy. And so I just put some gelatos in, mixed it with water and some splatters. It's always very important to date your page, and there you will see me dating it. So I just used a Faber-Castell pen to ink my date stamp, and I stamped it, and then I have a little journal card which gives me all the, where I write down all the dates of which I did when. This is another one of Ella Roetz's printables. It's the Walk by Faith one, and I absolutely love the colors. It goes with 2 Corinthians 5 verse 7, which says, "We walk by faith and not by sight." And so I love these shoes. I think it's gorgeous. I would really have loved to use all of these elements in this page, but there just wasn't any space. So if you're the kind of person who likes to use printables but you don't want to cover the words and you don't have clear sticker paper, you'll see what I do. So for this background, all I did is scribbled some Faber-Castell Gelatos on clear old packaging, and then I spritzed it with water, mixed it a little with my finger, and then just smushed, yes, that's an official term, smushed it on the paper, and then dried it, and then added a second layer of a slightly darker color. So start with your lighter colors, then add in your darker colors for a marbled effect. I quite like these colors. They are like a rosy color, and it fits quite nicely with the printables. I am using a napkin or a serviette to just pick up all the excess, and you'll see from back there, gelatos also do not bleed through. This is a prepped page, again used clear gesso to prep it. So I'm trying all the elements and I'm trying to see what goes. I really like this girl, and so I want to use her, but I don't want to cover the text. I prefer to be able to read all of the text. It is a personal preference. And I think, like most of us girls, we have way more than one Bible that we use, one for reading, one for in the car, and one that we journal in, and one for every purpose. And we're very blessed. And these days you have them on your phone and everywhere. I still just prefer to, if I'm using this Bible or if I need it somewhere, that I would be able to reference the word no matter what. So I prefer to have everything legible. I'm underlining the verse and the context of the verse because I was reading that using a Faber-Castell Pit Artist pen. This is in a metallic color, so it's quite pretty with this beautiful rose. So I'm folding where the words would begin. And then I'm applying the tombow glue. I had some glue stuck there, so it was quite sticky. And then I'm sticking her down with that edge of her dress being able to flap up if I need it. So yeah, that's that. I used the washi strips at the bottom to layer them, and there the words that I covered were the explanations, the references, so I didn't mind covering those, and it was just so that she doesn't completely look like she's floating on air, and it's very pretty washi, so use that. And then I also tore another strip just to, like I said with the previous part, use it as a kind of grounding for my tab, so it doesn't just float in the air there. Bending it down, and then I am going to make sure that the other edge is adhered as well. Had some coffee, obviously, before I snipped off these edges with my scissors. Now, here comes the dilemma. Really wanted these words there. Like I said, didn't want to cover the actual words of the passage. So I'm going to try and recreate this walk by faith. Can't see it through the page if I put it underneath. So I got some, and I don't know what you call this, carbon paper, I suppose. I think it's carbon paper. And I took the back of a paintbrush just to lightly outline the beautiful brush lettering on this printable, and then I'm taking an eraser and just lightly rubbing it out so that it really is just the faintest of lines that is left for me to trace or follow. I tried the colors to see which would look better, and it may not look like it on this video, but I can definitely see the words through this color, so it doesn't completely black out the words. I can still see it. And so I'm really just tracing her brush lettering here. I'm using a bit of faux calligraphy, I suppose, in the sense that I am literally just thickening the lines as I go down. I do have some of the eraser pieces on that page, which keeps on catching on my Faber-Castell Pit Artist pen, and so I just need to keep on taking it off there. Again, dating the page. It's important that you do that so that you can go back and see your progress and your time spent with God and which days He spoke to you about what, and the promises of God. So again, I like the splatters. I take my Faber-Castell Pit Artist pen, scribble some down, add some water, and I splash away. Love it. I take some washi. It just looked a bit, or it just gave some contrast there, so that's the highlighter washi. And then I add my journaling card there in the front. And that's that. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of these, and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you for watching.